The bottom line, I simply want to make an ever better car, no matter what kind they are. Even though technology is advancing at a rate that blows our minds, no one could have ever guessed there would come a day where you could get some water from the kitchen sink, pour it into your car's tank, and be good to go on a trip to the supermarket or another state. However, Toyota's announcement about an engine that will soon end the era of electric cars suggests that it's possible for car engines to run on water. But what are the odds that a car can run on only water without fuel or electricity? Stay with us as we explore the new and exciting advancements in car technology and discover all Toyota has to say about their new water engine. Toyota's new water engine is likely to disrupt the car industry as we know it. Imagine a car powered by water. This mind-blowing vehicle uses an advanced electrolysis process to convert water into hydrogen, which fuels the engine. Its engine utilizes the chemical energy released during the recombination of hydrogen and oxygen to produce power, releasing only water vapor as a byproduct. This not only reduces harmful emissions but also addresses the growing concerns about global warming and air pollution. Toyota's innovation promises a cleaner, greener future for transportation, aligning with global efforts to combat climate change. Although electric cars have been at the forefront of the green automotive movement for years, praised for their zero-emission status and reliance on renewable energy sources, Toyota's water-powered car offers several unique advantages over traditional electric vehicles. While electric cars rely on batteries that require charging from the electrical grid, Toyota's water-powered car uses water, an abundant and renewable resource. The electrolysis process, which splits water into hydrogen and oxygen, can be powered by renewable energy sources such as solar or wind, making the entire system more sustainable. Electric cars have been marketed as zero-emission vehicles, but the production and disposal of lithium-ion batteries pose great environmental challenges and require a large investment of resources. However, Toyota's water-powered car sidesteps these issues completely. According to the announcement made by Executive Vice President and Chief Technology Officer Hiroki Nakajima at a recent meeting in Japan, Toyota plans to change the future of transportation with this new technology. Nakajima talked about Toyota's big plan to stop being just a car company and start being a mobility company that helps people have many options for movement. He was joined by two other leaders, Takeru Kato, who is in charge of making electric cars called BEVs, and Mitsumasa Yamagata, who will lead the team making hydrogen cars when the factory opens soon. Toyota's hydrogen fuel cell cars work by using a chemical reaction between hydrogen stored in the car and oxygen from the air to make electricity that powers the car. This system includes an important part called an electrolyzer. The process is very efficient and safe, as it doesn't need much energy and doesn't produce any harmful byproducts. One of the best things about this process is that it doesn't need a big, heavy tank to store the hydrogen. The electrolyzer can make hydrogen as it's needed, making the car lighter and more efficient to use hydrogen fuel effectively. Some parts of the car's motor need to be changed. The fuel injectors, which spray fuel into the engine, need to be adapted to spray hydrogen correctly. Also, the engine block and cylinder head need to be stronger to handle the high pressure of hydrogen fuel. Other parts like valves and spark plugs also need to be specially made to help the engine run well and safely. Toyota's water engine is better than other motors that use hydrogen simply because it is much easier and cheaper to store water than to store hydrogen. Hydrogen is a gas, so it needs special tanks that can handle high pressure. These tanks are heavy, expensive, and can leak, which can be dangerous. Water, being a liquid, is much easier to store and doesn't need special tanks or high pressure, making it safer and more practical. This makes the water motor versatile, suitable for small cars, big trucks, and even power plants. Its simplicity and safety make it a better choice than other types of motors. Plus, it helps reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and cuts down harmful emissions, making it a more sustainable option for transportation and energy generation. However, it may surprise you to know that the motive to make a car powered by water only isn't exactly an original idea. Before Toyota's steps to build cars that run only on water, there were others who tried to do the same. The number of claims and attempts is sure to blow your mind. In 2008, a Japanese company called Genpax announced they had made a car that could run on water instead of gasoline or diesel. This was big news because it promised a cheaper and greener way to power cars. Genpax said their car used a special system to get energy from water by splitting it into hydrogen and oxygen, then using the hydrogen as fuel. But experts found out that the system wasn't just using water. It also needed a special material called metal hydride. This meant the car wasn't truly water-powered. Genpax never provided scientific proof for their claims, and many scientists were skeptical. doubted their story, the scientists explained that water is very stable, and you need a lot of energy to split it into hydrogen and oxygen. According to the laws of physics, you can't get energy from water alone because it takes energy to break the bonds holding the water molecules together. Some scientists also reminded people of Stanley Meyer, who in the 1980s claimed he had made a dune buggy that ran on water, but Meyer never showed solid proof, and his claims were found to be false. He was even convicted of fraud in 1996. Jip's story sounded a lot like Meyer's, and people were very skeptical. In 2002, Hydrogen Technology Applications said they had a device called Aquagen that could split water into hydrogen and oxygen. They first used it for safer welding but later claimed it could power cars. However, their theories weren't backed by science, and their claims seemed exaggerated. The company later admitted their device could only make cars more fuel efficient, not run on water alone. Another company, Genesis World Energy, claimed in 2002 to have a device that could get energy from water. They raised a lot of money from investors but never produced a working product. In 2006, the company's owner, Patrick Kelly, was jailed for fraud. In 2008, the same year JipPaks made their announcement, a man in Sri Lanka named Tushara Priyal Disanayak claimed he had driven a car on water for 190 miles using just 3 liters of water. The Prime Minister of Sri Lanka supported him, but Tushara was later arrested for fraud. His claims, like many before him, were exaggerated and misleading. More recently, in 2022, Arianto Mel from Indonesia claimed to have made a device called Mkuba that could turn water into hydrogen fuel. He said it could power motorcycles for 500 kilometers on 1 liter of water and that big car companies like Lamborghini and Ferrari were interested. But scientists in Indonesia doubted his claims, saying the device was impossible according to physics. They also found out that the car companies weren't really interested. Arianto's story, like others, seemed to be more about making bold claims than having real proof. Despite these failed attempts and scams, we have to wonder if there has been a deliberate attempt to stifle the usage of water as fuel for vehicles. While we certainly can't prove that there have been suppressions, there are many reasons why this might be so. For one, the global energy industry, currently dominated by fossil fuels, is worth trillions of dollars. Introducing a technology that could make traditional energy sources a thing of the past threatens the financial interests of powerful corporations and stakeholders. These entities have enough resources and influence to suppress or discredit technologies that could threaten their market dominance. For example, fossil fuel companies have a vested interest in maintaining their market share and may lobby against or discredit alternative energy technologies to protect their profits. Another probable reason is that new and innovative technologies often face skepticism and resistance from the public and media. It is understandably hard for the public to understand how water could be used to fuel a vehicle, and the perceived risks, safety concerns, and lack of understanding can lead to negative publicity and hinder widespread acceptance.